started out as a musician and producer. I was in America. I went to school in Boston, and I became a musician and producer. I made many records, and then I went on the internet in the mid-90s, to start a digital music company, a little bit like Spotify. Same idea, but way too early. And then in 2001, everybody in America went bankrupt in the internet bust, right? And then basically I realized that I was very good at seeing things early before others, because basically my idea was a lot like Spotify when you look at the later time. And so I wrote a book called The Future of Music, and that became a bestseller about the music business. And in the book we described the music business of today, basically. Together with another author. And so I realized I was good at seeing the future and understanding, the next 5-10 years, which is not that difficult, but you have to have a different view. And I was good, and I was too early, for many ways. I was too early to actually implement the idea, so I was much better off to talk about it, right, and help others. And so basically my job today is to help companies and governments and organizations and people to sort of understand what's coming in the next 5 to 10 years, to develop what I call foresights. And foresights are not predictions, they're basically understanding, intuition, imagination. So for example, when I said, in 1999, I said, music will move into the cloud, right? We will get music from the cloud, just push a button, right? And that was already quite clear in 1999, except that nobody wanted to believe it. So my job is to show people what is coming, to get them interested and to get them prepared, and to help them to develop what I call the future mindset, to really get into the future, to understand it. And in many ways that's a little bit like a therapist, A therapist may not tell you anything really new, but point you in the right direction of action, and hold the mirror up to you. I'm quite an optimist about the future, because really what I believe is, and I think it's coming true to some degree, that we will have all the technology and the science that we need to solve all of our major problems, whether it's energy or food or water or space travel, education. We are solving things. I mean, we developed a vaccine in 12 months. Right? And usually it takes 15 years for that to happen. So we will have all the technology. My main concern about the future is our policy and our ethics and our governance. It's not the fact that we're connected, that everything is good just because we're connected. Technology is not a magic wand. It is a tool. And technology is morally neutral until we use it, says William Gibson, the science fiction author. We can probably defeat cancer if we upload all of our DNA to a cloud, and the cloud analyzes all the patterns and finds a way for us to prevent cancer. But who's going to be in charge of my DNA in the cloud? I'm very excited about 5G. I mean, I use it now here in Switzerland, and it's amazing. Yeah, I think it's amazing that we have these technologies, but we have to keep in mind that technology is not good or bad in itself. It is a tool. Right? If we have a tool, we have to say, well, what do we want to do with this tool? And is that good for the other people using the same tool or other tools? Right? So it is not enough to say, wow, that's amazing, we can do this. I mean, if we're going to do everything that we can just because we can, we're going to end up becoming robots, right? Because we're going to connect our brain to the internet. Right? Elon Musk already working on a project like this. And I think in Portugal and generally in Europe, people are humanists, especially in Portugal. There's a very strong humanist tendency in society. When you look at 5G at the opportunities, the list is about 2 miles long. I think one of the most exciting applications is sustainability, decarbonization, green energy, the Green Deal. Using technology, we can connect everything, environmental outlets, filtering, monitoring, and we can learn from that, and we can act in time, and we can predict and prevent. That alone is trillions of euros of benefit across Europe. And then, of course, there's things like education and video and training. I mean, if I can learn how to put my motorcycle together or how to fix the telecom network using virtual reality, I'm going to be 100 times as fast as learning it from a book. Right? It's like virtual, it's like superhuman, you know. And the story goes on like agriculture. You know, if we're going to connect all devices to the Internet of Things and use agriculture and create smart agriculture, you know, then all of a sudden we're going to be able to feed more people. Right? So all you have to do is you take the old business, whether it's agriculture or pharma or medical or government, and you stick it into what we call the smart converter. You know, you connect it 5G, AI, and out comes the smart business. And that is going to be a gigantic boom for economy and industry in Portugal, but everywhere really. How much technology is good technology, right? That is the key question. Like connecting my brain to the internet with 5G, so I can always think like Wikipedia. You know, I can pull up Wikipedia while I'm sitting on the beach. I'm not sure that's a good idea. Clearly, if you drink a bottle of whiskey every day for breakfast, you know, you are in deep trouble. And I think the same thing is about technology. You know, we're going to use technology to connect with everything. We're going to work on the cloud. We're going to have jobs that exist only digitally. We're going to use virtuality. But we should not forget that in the end, we're still human, and we're not meant to be sitting on, you know, a 1 gigabyte data feed every second of our life. You know, that's not what makes us human. It's just a tool. And so there we need to make sure, for example, in the case of 5G, it is terrible not to be connected or to have a bad connection, but it's also terrible to be over-connected. You know, I call that digital obesity. You know, we're constantly like taking in information that will kill us, just like real obesity kills. You know, 400 million people have obesity in the world. So this is a very similar topic. And so I always say when we are really connected, we have to also have time to disconnect, because being human means to disconnect sometimes. For telecom companies, it is no longer enough to just say, well, it's working great and you can do high speed whatever, and it's not expensive. You know, that's very good, but in the end there's responsibility for what you make. So if you're creating an environment of constant connectivity and virtuality, and then you are responsible for maintaining the ecosystem, right? So that is some good things and some not so good things. It's no longer enough to just say, well, we make the service, and if there's a problem, that's, you know, somebody else's problem. That is not going to work. You know, I think every technology is essentially a powerful tool that we must learn how to use or not to use. You know, the hammer is a powerful tool, and the carpenter goes and builds a house with a hammer, but I can take the hammer and kill a few people on the street, if, you know, with the same hammer. So when we use technology like 5G, it is a very good start that we have it and that it's affordable and that is good, but we have to learn how to use it. Right? So companies that are in the business of providing 5G connectivity also have to furnish instruction and help how to build your business on it and what possibilities exist. And they have to also be in charge of safety and security and ethics based on the service. Yeah. So telecom companies are no longer going to be just in the infrastructure business. You know? So basically when you look at this, it's infrastructure on the bottom, and that is very important. And then there's applications and, you know, business models on top. And now telecoms are moving up. And I think Portugal is actually doing quite good in this. For example, there's major projects in the Azores, you know, for the connectivity of the Internet of Things, to see what kind of benefit can be made for green cities and for the environment. And this is crucial. You know, telecom companies are going to be part of an ecosystem of the digital society. So any telecom that puts their flag down and says, you know, we are people, planet, purpose, prosperity, not just infrastructure, they're going to win. I think the rule of automation is really simple. In the end, you know, we are going to see the end of routine jobs. So the end of routine tasks, mostly, not even the job, but, you know, everybody does some routine. I do routine, you know, researching, billing, accounting, right? I think we're going to see the routine being done by smart machines, by intelligent assistants. They're not going to be Ex Machina or Black Mirror or any of those things. It's just going to be a software agent that does the monkey work, the commodity work. And if you're thinking about this, for example, in agriculture, if a machine can drive the tractor and the machine can water the field and so on, what does a farmer do? Well, the farmer gets to study about the next generation of seeding or whatever he wants to study. So really what is happening with us is that our routines are being removed by machines. And if your job is 95% routine, you won't have a job, right? But which job is 95% routine? Farming isn't, driving isn't, call center, maybe. But basically what is happening is that we're moving from the lowest part of work, which is basically data, information, and simple sort of non-cognitive things. We're moving up the ladder, the food chain. And what we have to do now is we have to train people to unlearn, to relearn, and to get new skills and character traits that machines can't do. And the list of what machines can't do is very long. Right? Machines do not have emotions, they don't understand, they can look at data, they're binary. So the future of work, as I like to say, is to be human. So we shouldn't be that afraid of this. The only people that should be afraid is the ones that do machine work. Right? If you work like a robot will take your job. That is the reality. We need to look at 5G and say, now we're building something completely different. We have to help people how to use it. We have to help people not to use it, if that's what they need. We have to find balances between humans and machines. Right? Because the key is, in the end, my formula that I'm presenting at my talk will be essentially awesome humans on top of amazing technology. That is the ticket to our future, and certainly for Portugal, I think that is already quite clear.